Hey Pisces! Welcome to your June 2020 reading. This is TC, your guiding chariot. Happy to be back with you. Quarantine definitely had its own agenda for me, so I'm glad that everything that needed to be resolved has been resolved. Things are back to normal, so we're back in action. I hope you guys are staying safe, taking care of yourself, and staying well. I know everything is kind of crazy in our world right now. Just seems like 2020 just has more and more to heap on our plate, but it's a greater opportunity for us to grow and learn and come together. So yeah, just sending you guys love. Hope you're all well. This reading is going to be a general reading for Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising. My only ask is that you take what resonates, leave behind the rest. As you know, time is fluid, so some of this could have happened already, some of it may be upcoming, some may be happening now. Just don't try to force the messages. However it sinks into you, trust that, take it. What doesn't fit, leave it on the table. So I know this is your June reading, but I'm really focusing this on eclipse season. We started eclipse season on the 5th. We had our lunar eclipse in Sagittarius. We have a solar eclipse in Cancer later this month. And then we begin July with a lunar eclipse in Capricorn. So lots of karmic stuff coming up for us, especially concerning relationships for a majority of us. What we expect out of a relationship, how we show up in a relationship, possibly reevaluating some of the relationships we have going on right now. We also have tons of planets going retro. I think by the end of June, we will have more planets in retrograde than we have going direct. So lots of internal reassessing, lots of revisiting. And Pisces, our mutable signs, are kind of being set for a possibly slightly more challenging run through this eclipse season than the other signs, with a few exceptions, but mutables for sure. You may have a lot of things kind of hopping in your way that you're going to have to deal with and you're going to have to sort through, and you totally can. It's just about staying focused and staying aware, and I know you can do it. So this reading I'm going to do a little different. I'm going to pull 3 cards on kind of what energies are surrounding our physical space and our 3D, 3 cards for the mental space, 3 cards for what's going on for our spiritual growth, and we're going to take it from there. If you see me fidgeting with these cards, ooh, hi, hello again, ooh, all right. But like I say, if you see me fidgeting with the cards, they're just, like, I have big hands and I can barely hold these, like they're massive. So if you see me fidgeting, it's just so I can try and make sure they all kind of fit in the screen. And actually, these were gifted to me by a beautiful friend of mine who is a Pisces. Shout out to you, Third Eye Mind Trick. I know you're watching this. So, mwah, loving them. Thank you very much. But let's get into this reading. Enough chat about me. So, starting out very strong with the Lover's card. So, definitely relationships could be coming into play. Doesn't have to be romantic for some of you out there, so don't get stuck up on that. But definitely relationships going to be top of mind. And for you, Pisces, I feel like this is really about evaluating. It's not necessarily about a new one coming in, an old one going out, or anything like that. There's a big redefinition kind of going through, I want to say your mind, possibly the other person's mind, but definitely yours. There's a reevaluation. There's a need to assess really what's going on. Are you okay with what's going on? Do you want to allow what's going on? Because remember, if you say nothing, you're allowing it, right? And I say that because you have 2 4s here, so we're questioning stability and foundations. You have, and they're kind of on opposite ends of the spectrum. You have one, the 4 Flames, which is all about gratitude and celebration, and really enjoying and living your best life in this moment. And then you have the 4 of Chalices, which is, not as optimistic and kind of looking at what's been lost or looking at what isn't fulfilling and really being stuck on that. So there's a big dichotomy there, and I think that's where the assessment is coming in. Now, when I say that, it doesn't mean everything is bad, because even within the 4 of Chalices, nothing is all bad. Yes, you may have these 3, kind of sad, depressing cups, but there's an offering just to the side, right? So there may be some things that are unseen that we aren't recognizing, right? And that could be what we're grateful for. For some of us, this could be existing in the current relationship and we just need to open our awareness. For some of us, this is the awareness that there's something better beyond that, right? So you're going to have to take it, how it resonates and what it feels like to you. To me, it's just a strong emphasis on this need to assess and this need to really dig a little bit deeper about what it is you need, what it is you want, what your future looks like, and how this current relationship or any relationship really fits in with this, right? And and I'll be completely honest, some of you, this could be about, like wanting to live a certain lifestyle or start a career or go into a certain field that maybe requires you to, maybe be super mobile, or you want to live a life where you're traveling more and getting around. And that's going to, make having a stable relationship hard because you may not be in the same space for a long time. So there might be an assessment even there if this is the right moment for you to have this, right? There's a lot of questions going on as you kind of go through this assessment, but that's really what is happening for us and what we're kind of going through. Look, look. All right, mental body. Very strong. You guys are kind of excelling in this area right now. So you've got the Indigo card, which is the Magician. So full power. All the tools needed. You guys are doing the most. Now, with this energy, there is also a level of recognition that's coming along with it here with this Six of Flames. So this is recognition for sure, but it's also success and victory. Now, there is kind of a double-edged sword with both of these, right? And like any cards in the tarot, there's good definitions and bad definitions in every card, pretty much. The downside with this energy is that, yes, you're being recognized for your success. That can bring some jealousy or some, critical judgments from someone else. With the Indigo card, with the Magician, yes, there is power, and yes, there is beautiful magic and manifesting coming with it. But there's also a level of trickery, right? So there even may be some temptation on your part to take advantage of certain situations. There may be some deception that goes on there that you just kind of have to guard yourself from. Because again, that type of behavior is going to garner attention, and it may be attention you don't want. I think there's a lot to be said about this new endeavor you're embarking on, or this, whatever it is you're trying to create. It is going to get you noticed. Make sure you're getting noticed for the right things, Pisces. That's kind of what I kind of see here. And especially with this Master of Orbs. Super smart, super analytical, but can be kind of cold, right? Because this is a man of the mind. It's about logic and reasoning. He doesn't really have time for feelings. There may be a bit of a cautionary tale here. That's, yes, although we need to be analytical and practical and logical and all these things, there is a level of compassion that also needs to be present. And I'm not saying you're not a compassionate sign. Fellow water sign, I know it's in there. We just don't want to forget that in lieu of something else, right? Because again, this assessment is going to be pretty analytical. It's going to be pretty judgmental, right? And I don't say judgmental in a bad way, but you are making, value adjustments or value assessments, right? So there is a level of having to be like, this is good, this is bad, I want this, I don't want that, right? So that is needed here. And then once we go into, actioning those steps, we still want to hold on to our compassion and not be just as cold and ruthless here in our delivery as we are in the planning. Because this is private, right? You can say whatever you want to yourself. That's fine. Once that starts to get filtered out, we want to make sure it's getting filtered through a compassionate lens, okay? I don't know why this is making me giggle, but something it's just, I want you to be aware of it. Ooh, all right. Okay, so spiritually, we got some stuff going on here too, which I love. And this, honestly, I think is going to be facilitated by what's going on in your active consciousness, right? Because this is happening in our conscious mind. This is probably going to be more in our subconscious mind. But again, it's the same soul. It's the same, body, so to speak. So one is going to affect the other. We open up here with the Five of Chalices. So we might be sad. We might be dealing with, the idea of missing out on something, or that something we've lost. Whether this is something from our past, since we're going to retrograde season. This may be something about these current relationships that, we felt something has been missing for a long time. Or just missing in general. Depends, take it as it resonates. But there may be some internal dilemmas and an internal drama and stress centered around this perceived loss. Now, you also have a bunch of healing coming through with this guidance card, which, beautiful. This is definitely needed. And I think a lot of what this healing is, now, this I don't think is going to be super, super simple and super easy and super straightforward, right? This guidance may come through a little cryptic, right? It's not, I want to say this isn't going to be just some big epiphany that just, oh my God, I get it now. That's not what this is going to be. And I say that because I keep getting drawn to, you can see in the back of this card, the Sphinx, right? So the Sphinx speaks through riddles, right? He didn't just ask a straight question and, if you got the answer right, let you pass. You had to solve a riddle. There was some work that had to be done there. And I feel like that's kind of what your guides are doing to you too. They're being a little funny with you. They're giving you the answer, but again, it's disguised in a riddle. It's not being hidden from you, but they're putting you through the process. They want you to work for it, right? Because I keep thinking, sorry, I'm just giggling I don't know why your reading is making me so giggly. I just had an image of the Wizard of Oz, at the end of the movie when Glinda is essentially telling her, like, you could have gone home at any time. You didn't have to bother with this stupid witch. Like she had the ability to go home all the time, but she wouldn't have believed her. Right? She had to find it out for herself. Same thing for you, Pisces. You have to find this out for yourself. Like, I almost wonder if this is something that has been told to you over and over again, maybe by friends, maybe through spirit, through your own meditations, whatever, however you seek answers. I almost wonder if this is a message that you've heard before and maybe didn't acknowledge, or you're like, oh yeah, I see that, and then didn't act on it, or didn't fully accept, like you acknowledged it, and you're just like, okay, that's a thing. And it's just kind of sitting on the shelf. And I feel like Spirit's kind of at this point where they're like, okay, I'm not going to tell you again because you've already been told. I need you to figure it out now. Because I need this to sink in. I want this to sink in for you so you really truly get it. So it feels like they're kind of putting you through the process now. Which, not a bad thing. I also, there's not too much struggle here. So it's not something that's going to be super taxing on you. And in the end, it's going to be super, super healing. You also have the Seeker of Orbs, which is the Page or Princess of Swords. So there is this idea of reinvention. And, it can be a little rebellious energy, but that's because she's a creative thinker. We're thinking outside of the box. We want to think differently. So again, it's kind of, I almost feel like you're in this process of rediscovering this little nugget, this little gem that you found before, and maybe at that point didn't fully understand it, didn't really know what to do with, but you knew it was something, so you kept it, but we're not using it. Now we're rediscovering it so that when you find it, you have this different perspective, or you have this opportunity to work with this differently, right? Because something went amiss down here somewhere in the past. So again, we have this moment to revisit it, right? So especially if you have any strong placements with these planets that are in retrograde, you are definitely revisiting, you are definitely working through some things again, or at least getting a chance to observe them one more time so you can really, like, you sure that you want to handle that way, or could we do something different? Or maybe last time we didn't do anything about this, so, what do we want to do now? You're a stronger person now, what would you like to do here? Alright. Let's pull one more oracle card. Ooh, okay. That was a nice easy one. Hey, I love. So full moon in Cancer. When have we talked about a full moon in Cancer? Or at least a moon in Cancer. What am I saying? It's coming up, it's going to be a new moon in Cancer, but hey, same energy. And look what the prompt reads. A personal issue reaches resolution. It's exactly what we've been talking about. So this level of personal discovery that you're going through, we finally reached the end of it. This cycle is going to be closed. Same thing that's coming up in the eclipses. Our full moons are a time of releasing and endings. Here we're coming to the resolution of this particular journey, which I love. I will say, biggest thing to be aware of, well, you know what the biggest thing to be aware of, but remember to hold on to a level of compassion, not only for others, the people you're working with and extending outwards to, but also to yourself. Also to yourself here with this Five of Chalices. There's no need to criticize yourself or pass judgments because of past behaviors. You were on a journey just like everyone else is on a journey. You wouldn't be that harsh to someone that came to you for help and that you were giving some counsel to. So why would you give that to yourself? Don't do that. Be compassionate as you go through this process of filtering and deciphering this information, cataloging it, deciding what should be kept, what needs to be edited, and what should be thrown away. And by the end of this, you're going to have the answer you've been seeking, right? Beautiful. But lots of power in your control, lots of magic in your side of the court. We want to make sure we're using all of that effectively during this eclipse season. All right, Pisces, sending you love, wishing you the best, take care. Just continue to stay safe and stay sane as the world is going through the same type of adjustments. And globally as one, community, we are shifting and figuring out what's really important at the end of the day. I love you guys. Take care. And I will see you in your next video. Bye, Pisces.